Hi guys, today we shall be focusing on the Saskatchewan Immigrant Nominee Program, which is the provincial nomination program for the province of Saskatchewan in Canada. Saskatchewan is actually one of the prairie provinces. It's called the prairies. The others being Manitoba and Alberta. So the capital is actually in Regina, and the largest city, the largest metropolitan city in the province is Saskatoon. So the beauty about this immigrant nominee program for Saskatchewan is the fact that almost every single profession is actually welcome, and which tells you that it's such a robust program that you would have the opportunity to also bring in your family. Then you also have the opportunity to invite family members when you've lived in the province for quite a number of time. So let's go into the nitty gritty of this SINP as it's usually called. And don't forget, please subscribe to this channel, subscribe to the channel, like and share the video, and remember to always click the notification button. So let's go for it. So like I said, on the Saskatchewan Immigration Program, which is called the Saskatchewan Immigrant Nominee Program, this is the home page, and that takes us to all of the details of what we've got. So we shall just be looking briefly into this, the International Skilled Worker Expression of Interest, which is called the EOI. And for this, basically all you need to do is to have all your application documents and get, this is how the system works. In your assessment, basically you having a minimum score of 60, and the total score that they've got on there is it's 110. So your maximum score can actually be 110, and this is how it works. So basically for the education and training, you would have, if you've got a bachelor's degree for instance, you would have a 20 points on there. If it's higher degree, then you got 23. So for those who have got quite a number of years of work experience, usually what is required is just a 12-month work experience that is basic. And if you do have a more than 1 year of work experience or 12 full calendar months, then that's beautiful, because with that you would be able to jump on more points. You would be able to accumulate more points than just 1 year of work experience. So for those who've got, for instance, a 10-year work experience, you would be able to accumulate up to 15 points. And that is to tell you that the immediate 5 years, in the run up to present, would be 10 points. And the previous 5 years, which is the 6 to the last 10, that 6 to the 10 year prior, would fetch you 5 points. So that would be a total of 15 points. So for those who are also very familiar with the CLB thing, so usually CLB 8 and above, if you actually can refer back to one of our videos, the one we did for the complete guide for the Canada Immigration Program, you would see the breakdown of the CLB. So why not go, like I said, like and share, subscribe to this channel, and you would get all the details of everything you do need at your beck and call. So for the CLB 8, so usually it would be, if you take for instance one of the recommended exams that they put on air, which is the IELTS. So if you take that, it would be your listening being 7.5 and others being 6.5. So that's your reading, your writing, and your speaking. So, and that would fetch you 20 points, which is the maximum you can actually get on the English test. However, if you're very good with a second language, then you could also amass up to 10 points, and that second language would actually be French. So, and if it's vice versa as well, like you got French, your first official language, and you're able to speak English as well, whichever way, then you can accumulate up to 30 points on your language. So for age, it's actually deemed that if you between the ages of 22 and 34, you would be having your maximum score for age. However, for those who are slightly above 34, that's from the ages of 35 to 45, you would have lost 2 points on age, and on like that. However, for people who have got some connections to Saskatchewan, like for instance, you got someone living in Saskatchewan who is deemed to be an eligible family member, that includes parents or siblings, aunts, uncle, niece, nephew, and what have you. So those can actually help you to another 20 points. And that would contribute immensely to you being, able to reach your target. So for those who also have got past work experience in Saskatchewan, you got 5 points, and those that have got also um, those that have got previous study experience that have studied in Saskatchewan would also be able to jump on some 5 points over there. So, which gives a total of 110, and that's how it works in terms of the scoring. So basically, looking at connection with family. So I mentioned earlier. So if you do have someone who lives in Saskatchewan, it's a plus. So you can claim points off them, and also if you do have a job offer, that also would fetch you a lot of points because applicants with employment offer receive nothing less than 30 points. So and that's on the international skilled worker point grid. So you can actually do that. So there are also some skills that have been deemed to be hard to fill. So you got those hard to fill skills, which is currently on a pilot. So you got that as the International Skilled Workers Act to fill skills pilot. And, in that, the basic eligibility is for you to have at least 1 year of full-time work experience in the past 3 years. And you do have a language score on a minimum of Canadian language benchmark of 4. So you must have completed a secondary school or higher education, as the case may be, and you do also have an SINP approved offer, which would be for a permanent full-time job in Saskatchewan. So these are the occupations and the very so we're talking about not very highly skilled job even, which include those working as dispatchers, shippers and receivers, even storekeepers, clerks, among others. So you can just name it as it's been scrolled on the screen. So those are kind of a lot of different jobs across different fields. So anyone falling into this category would be really good to also look into this and see if they can really help themselves to that. So for those in the tech field, so tech has actually been something like almost everywhere in Canada. They really very much needed. So this subcategory is just specially for those in the tech field. So you need to have an offer from for a skilled job in Saskatchewan, meet the criteria of the subcategory for tech, and also you have the intention to live in Saskatchewan as a permanent resident when you get the nomination. So these are all the details down here, and these are the category of jobs from data scientists to those in the cybersecurity space, computer engineers, and the information system managers, among other software engineers and designers, the web developers and programmers, software developers and programmers, among others. And so you can see all the eligibility all in there. You can see all the details. So if you're in the tech field, this would be where you want to focus. So this is just the international skilled worker, the international skilled worker, for the employment offer. So for those who got unemployment, they're able to apply from outside the province, from outside the country. This is how it works. So you need a job offer from a skilled job in Saskatchewan, and you intend to live in the province. Of course, meet the criteria for this subcategory as well. So for those in the healthcare field, like it's just like the tech guys, Healthcare workers are also kind of needed almost everywhere in Canada. And for those, it's pretty much similar to what we got for the others. And the eligible occupation also varies from one to the other, from nurses to pharmacists to medical laboratory technologists, so sonographers, radiation technologists, licensed practical nurses, among others. So you want to go for this, and remember, for some of these professions in the health field, they do require you to go through regulatory bodies to get assessed, and also you need to know the requirements for registering with whichever body is the one registering for your own profession. So that is something you want to look into. I think that applies in the tech field as well. So there are, like I said, occupation in demand. You can look through this link and be able to get acquainted with all the details on here. So how do you go about the application? So all applicants will also have to go through the IRCC, which is the Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada, who are those saddled with the processing of migration in Canada, rather. So to register, this is where you go, immigration.saskatchewan.ca, and you would have to, select whatever category that you want to go for, which is usually would be the SINP applicant, expression of interest candidate, and for most people anyway, so not everyone. And you would click continue. When you hit the continue button, then you're good to go. You fill in the information as we've seen at the previous screen, and just like we got on the assessment, yeah, all this information and questions will be asked, and it would pop up with your scores. So your points will be displayed, and that would tell you where you fall on a scale of 110. Saskatchewan is there for you as an option, and like I said, it gives the opportunity for you to bring in your family, and you're able to invite people, family to come over as well. As you can see for the point that says, if you do have close family relative in Saskatchewan, so you have someone coming through already or that is already there, so you potentially standing, that in that position to either give someone, 20 points or you. So that brings us to the end of today's presentation on Saskatchewan Immigrant Nominee Program. So if you actually have enjoyed this presentation today, why not subscribe to this channel, and also remember to click the notification button. Thank you for listening and watching, and see you some other time. Thanks.